Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show, highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyles, community, and neighborhood. And now, from Four Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, did you happen to read the paper or look at Facebook the other day? There was a rooftop party.
I missed that.
Did you read about it? Did you hear about it?
No, I didn't see that. I missed it.
So Baxter and Taylor Clement hosted a party on the rooftop of their home in downtown Southern Pines to commemorate something that started about 9 years ago with Denise Baker, who is our guest today, to talk about the Sister Cities partnership, which is now in its 8th year.
Oh, wow. Has it been that long?
Yeah, and you know how often we talk about the changing demographics of Moore County?
All the time.
So about eight or 9 years ago, I know for a fact that some of the students who performed at this event on Saturday night were 6 and 7 years old and hadn't even started to play music, or maybe they were interested, but now they're 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and a couple of them are on their way to Ireland in July on an exchange program, which is something that started, Denise, as a conversation with then Mayor Mike Haney, I think in 2008.
That's right. And thanks for having us, Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Sister City International is a people-to-people peace program started by Eisenhower in the 50s. And one of the ideas is it has to instigate between local government and local government. So in order to get it off the ground, because the Ireland people were actively looking for a sister city, I had to get the people in my community, and I didn't really know Mike Haney. Everybody knows Mike Haney.
Right.
And I called him about 32 times. And then finally he said, who is Denise Baker and why is she calling me? And I said, I just want to take you to lunch, Mike. And so I took him to lunch, and he goes, well, what do you need me to do? And I said, well, I just want you to go to Ireland with me.
Right.
So anyway, I told him about it, and we got together with the council, and then the partnership was born.
A partnership was born, and a friendship with you and Mike was born. And what's happened over the last 8 years is something that is a study in what a grassroots type local government organization can do if they have like-minded people working towards the same goal.
You just nailed that, Bill, because it really is a grassroots. I mean, it started with Postcards Crossing the Atlantic, which was grassroots, and this is just community-based. And to see this relationship grow the way it has, over 250 people have crossed the Atlantic between our two communities in the past 8 years. And and I owe a lot to Mike Haney, because if he hadn't agreed to jump on board, then we wouldn't have been able to do it. And I miss Mike Haney too, and I love Mike Haney.
So you have two guests who are with you today, and I'm going to put them on the spot just a little bit. Lisa McManus and Connor McGreevy. And you're from Ireland, and you might not be familiar with some of the movies in our country that have become keepsakes. But there was a movie called It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed, and it's a Christmas classic. Well, you never got a chance to meet Mike Haney, but if you think of the lead character in the movie, Jimmy Stewart, you would get a sense about who Mike Haney was. Everybody was a friend. He was a very kind and genteel man. Did not have an ego. Was always willing to reach out to others, and it didn't matter what walk of life you came from. And he touched a lot of people, not just as his tenure as mayor of Southern Pines, but just his presence in Southern Pines over the years, and he loved Southern Pines. That's the one thing I think so many people who come on the show, we all have in common. It's that love for this
Community.
slice of Americana.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I've mentioned your names, but I haven't had you speak.
Yeah.
And I'm going to actually say, Lisa, good morning. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Good morning.
And she's looking at me like, why are you talking to me? I told you. Welcome to Southern Pines.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, and Connor, the same to you.
Thanks, Bill.
Tell
Good to
me
be here.
about the rooftop party. Tell me about what you saw, what you witnessed, what your observations were about the party, about our town, our community.
Okay. Well, first of all, Bill, this is my third time in Southern Pines. I think it's a wonderful community. It's what I would say is real America. It's what you imagine, the friendly community, people working together for the betterment of the area,
Right.
people looking out for each other and supporting each other. It's something that we share across the Atlantic, where I live, in the Restrever, Warren Point community. And, on Saturday night there at the rooftop party, we were able to witness everything that we expect that Denise touches. An absolutely very successful evening of people sharing laughter, fun, just pure enjoyment, and of course great music. And we're very much looking forward to welcoming those kids across to what's very important at a young age, cultural experiences.
At an age when the kids are in their formative years, and so those experiences become indelible. They'll never forget them. The exchange program has been going on now for how many years, Denise?
Well, this is only the second music exchange because it takes a couple of years to raise the money, but we have a great template for it, and to me, Sister City, in order to be sustainable, we had to reach out to children and to the youth.
Right.
Because it's easy enough to get adults to go on a trip to Ireland.
Right.
But I felt like it was most important that we touched the young people.
Right.
And because to me, it changes their whole attitude. It's life-changing because they understand that it's okay that people are different than they are, and they're more open-minded. And they have lifelong friends in another country. And also to learn about Irish music when they go over, and when those kids come over here and work with Baxter and learn about music here, and then they collaborate together. It's really a beautiful thing. And I'll tell you, Baxter is an amazing instructor, and what he brings out of these kids and his energy is just, it's just like none I've ever witnessed.
I've heard that many times over, and as I mentioned to you before the show, I'm friendly with Matt and Amy Smith, and their son Adam was one of the performers. I think he played the electric bass and actually wrote and performed one of his own songs. And as good parents, they sit back and they, I think they realize what an opportunity this is for their son, and how valuable. And the trips are made possible by private donations only. And one of the things that impresses me so much about Moore County is what a giving community it is. And you probably, Lisa, kind of saw that at the party. The people that come with an open heart, and they want to support. So this community provides nets for a lot of its students from the time they enter grade school to the time they graduate from high school and then move on in the world. And that's really a true slice of America.
Yeah.
I don't know what you all see in Ireland sometimes, but I shudder to think what some people overseas think of us these days. But in truth, we set a great example, I think, for people to know what we're really like.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very obvious to Lisa and I walking around. You can see that there is a lot of people supporting the youth and investing in the youth, and that's the future.
Right.
And this trip really, that's what it's all about. It's about giving young people that hope and opportunity, experiences that will define their next path. In the last trip, I mean, there was one young participant who ended up on American Idol. So
right.
there's so much possibility.
American Idol, is that what you said?
Yeah.
From Southern Pines, Zach Pearson.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He went on our trip.
That's correct.
So I like to think there's a little part of Ireland, a little part of us that helped influence him.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Connor, how did you get involved, and how is it that you and Lisa are here at this table today?
Yeah, so in 2011, I got elected onto our local council, and probably within 6-9 months, I was on to the Sister Cities Committee.
Okay.
On our side, it's government-led. It's more the council rather than civic, which may be a weakness on our side and something that we're trying to change. But from that, I literally bumped into Denise, and we went on a whirlwind drive, and from there I've come over now 3 times, and I've met Denise a few times over the other side. And whenever I heard that she's organising this fundraiser again for to send more kids across to us, Lisa and I sat down and just thought, we've got to go over and support Denise and the entire Sister Cities Committee. It's very important to show that there's, willing participants on the other side. It's very much a partnership, so that's why we're here today, to give Denise that support and the board that support. We want to see this work. I personally want to see it work for the benefit of young people.
You sound like a teacher, but you're not a teacher.
I'm not a teacher, no.
But you sound like a mentor, a coach.
Well, I'm more in my Warren Point Town Football Club, which is a soccer club.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay.
Yeah, so I actually have been a youth coach at the soccer club.
Right.
I'm currently on the board of directors.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I've got my own businesses, a heating, air conditioning style of business back in Warren Point, and recently I started a brewery. So I got meeting the guys here from Southern Pines Brewery.
I bet you have.
Yeah, so hopefully there's something brewing there.
Oh boy.
Right.
We're going to be importing craft beers overseas. Are we going to be?
Well,
Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe we could share some recipe ideas and sort of maybe boost both the communities and the awareness of Sister Cities.
Yeah. And how did you and Lisa meet?
Well, it's the 21st century, I suppose, so it had to be modern technology. Twitter was probably one of the key drivers. But I called in to see Lisa in her former place of employment. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Lisa, since this is the radio,
Yes.
and if you blush, no one can see it. Is this your first trip to Southern Pines?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Give me your observations on what you've seen, because we love to hear feedback from people who come here for the first time.
It's hard to describe. It's what I would say is proper America. It's like what you see in the movies, where
Right.
you've got happy families and communities working together, and it's just proper America.
You know what's so interesting? There are some urban aspects to our area, slight, but they're there. But things like this type of partnership in a small community have a chance to grow a lot faster than they would perhaps in a larger urban community, because there's more anonymity. Here, the networks are so tightly wound that people know each other, and word can travel very quickly. I guess that's good news and bad news. It can travel very quickly. But people have watched this almost like, a baby, a child being born and growing. And here we are 8 years later.
Have you seen our new signs up in town?
Yes. I saw the photograph that you sent me. That's pretty cool.
Well, we've got 3 of them up. We're going to put up a couple of more, but that tells you something right there, that the commitment that our local government has, that they worked with us, with the Department of Transportation. No easy task, I might add.
Right.
And thanks to Fred Womack on our board, we finally got those signs up, and I'm just so thrilled, because somehow, it really cements the deal, and it really shows how invested we are in this partnership, and it's a real commitment.
I did not know that Fred was on the board. He's a wonderful guy.
Oh,
Right.
stand-up
Fred Paul.
guy.
Yeah, it really is. Always has been.
an
I didn't know
excellent
that.
board member. I mean, and I have to give a shout out to all the board members for Sister Cities, because they all pitch in. There's 9 people on the board, And we really are a working board, and I'm very, very proud of that. And,
Yeah.
and we've rotated off, so I've had many different community members be on the board. And so if anybody's interested in learning more about Sister City or would like to serve on the board or a committee, I'd love to hear from them.
Lisa, do you get the sense that when you hear Denise speak about this project that she's sort of like the mother who sort of brought it to fruition, and now
Yes,
she said
that's exactly it.
very proud of it?
Yeah.
So I understand, because I asked you if you and Connor had children. We were looking at pictures on the phone, and then you brought to my attention that you all are getting married in September.
Yes.
So
we
that,
are.
no, Bill, we don't have children now, but perhaps sometime shortly. Thank you for correcting me.
I think
so
she's put me under pressure there too. Which is,
That's okay. That's okay. So you have a wedding date set in September?
23rd of September.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And
But-
next time you come here, it might be with just more than just the two of you. There's a little
Possibly.
pressure, Connor.
this pressure thing, Bill.
I want to come back in the second set, and I want to speak a little bit about Baxter. You started to talk about what a difference maker he's been here, and
Absolutely.
how he's a mentor, and he's a coach, and he's a teacher, and he's a character that comes for free. And we've had Baxter on the show, and he is a great person to have a conversation with, as I'm sure you've experienced.
Yeah, he's a wonderful character. Him, Taylor too. You know,
Yep.
they go very, very much hand in hand. And
Because she's a mother of 3 boys now.
yeah,
Her 2 sons and Baxter.
yeah, and met her now the last couple of nights, and just no stress there.
Classy
And
lady.
Baxter just glides over him. Last night he hit the child on top of his head.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't matter. It was hitting him on the head. He just takes it in his stride. He's a wonderful character, and as is Taylor, and it's great to have them involved in this next exchange again. And I'm looking forward to bring them to Ireland.
Yeah, Taylor will be going with us to Ireland.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, and she was there. She went with us the last time too.
Mm-hmm.
She's sort of the chaperone. We chaperone together. We chaperone Baxter.
I think he needs it.
Yeah, we have him on a program to overcome his shyness here and get out in the public a little more. Hey, let's come back in the second set, and we're speaking all about the Sister Cities partnership, a very successful fundraiser, which was a rooftop party hosted by Baxter and Taylor, and what a difference it will make for some of the students who are going to embark on this trip to Ireland in July. We'll be right back.
As a crowd, there's always something happening, and it's usually quite loud. Our mum, she's so house proud. Nothing ever slows her down, and a mess is not allowed. Our street, our house, in the middle of our house, in the middle of our street. Someone tells you that you've got to meet in the middle of our father gets up.
Hey, welcome back to the second set of Moore County, all things Moore County. We're talking all about the Sister Cities partnership, what it's meant to our area, what it's meant to our students, and what Denise Baker has started about 9 years ago. And we're also speaking with Connor McGreevy. Connor, at the break, we were talking that instead of even speaking about hearing any of us talk, I think we all just want to hear you talk. You could read the phone book, you could read the Bible. What is it about the Irish accent
Yeah.
that Americans are so enamored with?
Maybe it's a little piece of home for so many Americans.
Yeah.
They hear the Irish accent. That just gives them that sense of maybe history or some sort of feeling of, our ancestors. I don't know. But apparently our accent, it's like singing.
Yeah.
I tell you now, Bill, I won't be singing in this radio show because I haven't got a note in my head.
Americans don't have that accent. They don't have, you hear probably, while you've been here, a Southern accent, but there are a lot of transplants here from New England, from the Midwest, from New York. We have a real homogeneous, not a homogeneous group, but just a mixed group of a lot of different accents here. But we don't seem to have the charm and the cadence that you all do.
I don't know. I mean, I think it works two ways. We definitely like hearing the southern accent too.
You do.
It has a charm to it, you know. Lisa and I were talking the other night about the different sayings. There's things that people say. We're like,
Sayings,
what?
yeah.
What are you saying?
Right.
You know, and that's again linking it back to this whole Sister Cities exchange. That's something that people get an opportunity to experience, you know. So you take out the garbage, we take out the trash or the rubbish. I don't know what.
The rubbish,
Sorry,
the
rhymes.
rubbish,
You
yeah.
see,
The
I
boot
get
of the
confused.
car versus the trunk
The
of
trunk
the car.
of the car, yeah. And Denise and I were having the conversation too. So wee subtle things. They're nice though. They're we all speak English, but we've got different ways of saying things.
A couple of, about a year or so ago, I had Baxter on the show, and he was talking about Sister Cities, and he went into his Irish brogue. And it's amazing. I mean, he can just mimic and pick up. Have you heard? I'm sure you've
Oh,
heard.
yeah. He'll do an Irish jig. He'll talk Irish.
Yeah, very, very talented. You know, I don't know if I told you this. I think it was back in '06 or '07 when Baxter first came here. I met with him and his mom at a home we had on the market for sale. He had just come here from New York, decided he was going to reset his roots here, and he was in the market for a piano. And so he had heard about this estate sale that we were having, and he was explaining to me that he needed a piano or another piano, that he had designs on starting a music school. And I didn't think much of it at the time other than I wanted to wish him luck. We were still at a point in our demographic movement where we had a lot of retired people moving here and golfers, not as much of the military. Well, how that has all changed.
That school is amazing, and like I said, Baxter's gifts
Yeah,
and what he brings out of those students. And for example, when we go over to Ireland, he works with the Irish music teachers as well. And even they said, I mean, what those students learn in 1 week's time
right.
with the Irish kids when they come here for a week and when our kids go over there. But he is definitely gifted. He is a character, but I will say his passion for music and learning, and you know, his rules are simple. You have to want to learn. You know, if you're lazy, he probably is not going to work with you. But I saw kids that went to Ireland that were so shy, and I mean, you could just see their personality unfold over the week's time, and he just does an amazing job. Not to mention the aesthetics of his school.
Oh, beautiful.
And you know, I mean, and he has a recording, and he promotes writing your own music, and he's very dedicated. And another thing, he is a hard worker. He's a great father too. He spends a lot of time with his children, you know, and because our kids are in school, he teaches his music classes at night. So he works 24/7. I don't think he sleeps because I just think he's amazing. He drives me crazy, but I love him to pieces. And I owe him a lot, or we wouldn't do this, because just like I went to him and, you know, I had this idea, how am I going to get youth involved? And he was willing to take that risk. And this time when we did it, we actually did a call for musicians and kids to come and audition. So we had 17 kids in Moore County that auditioned for 6 slots, and that was really difficult.
Tell me about I was going to ask you about the 6 students that are going to be going on the trip. So there were 6 out of 17. There was a criteria, there was a framework.
Well, we did open auditions, and we asked them questions, and of course, you know, they pay me not to sing in church, so I was in no way part of the criteria for the music.
Right.
But we really wanted to, you know, get an idea of their personality or their willingness, their openness, And, so the board members were part of the audition process. So when they sang or played their music, then we did a question and answer. And, tried to give them an idea of that you're not only going on a music exchange, but you're an ambassador for your community. And that's what I say with all of us is no matter where we go in this life, we're always an ambassador from where we came. And so I wanted to make sure that they felt like they were going to be great ambassadors for Southern Pines.
I bet one of the common denominators between the 6 students that got selected was their spirit, their willingness to grow,
Their passion
their
for
passion
music.
for
yeah.
music.
And it's a very diverse group. Some of the kids are homeschooled. Some of them are in the public school. A couple, one from O'Neill. So I feel like we have a really nice sampling of Moore County.
Right.
I really tried hard to get the word out. I would have thought 100 kids would have come for the auditions. But now that we're doing this for the second time, I'm really hoping that if we have the opportunity to do it again, that we'll have even more interest.
What is the age group of the 6?
They're aged 12 to 16.
Wow, there's a 12-year-old?
Yeah, Shelby Ray, oh, she's so adorable. She plays the clarinet, and she's a tiny little
Pistol.
girl, but I tell you what, she has the confidence and poise, and she's just wonderful. And the other thing in setting up for the rooftop, the music students and their families all came out and helped us set up and get ready for it, because I explained to them that we're doing this so that we can raise money for you to have a cultural exchange. So, we're raising the money and they're putting in the time and they're doing, and I was really proud of the teamwork, because that tells me a lot of what it's going to be like to travel with these kids if they can do what I ask them to do for their own fundraiser. So it was really great. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
We have a healthy, wonderful group.
Yeah. Connor, this experience, it has to make you feel very comfortable and very much at home here, too, as much as you are at home, to see all this camaraderie that's going on and the people surrounding the students and supporting them.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the confidence there, every one of them on Saturday they were demonstrating so much confidence. The people rallying around them.
Yeah.
It was 150, 160 people there.
Yeah. Not to mention the parents, I'm sure. The proud parents.
The parents were very proud. We actually met a few of them, and they're very much looking forward to their kids experiencing Ireland and the opportunity to experience that culture and musical exchange. But yeah, the community, as I said at the start of the show here, this community is wonderful.
Yeah.
Everyone just rallies around, supports, very friendly, very welcoming, and just pushing on,
Yeah.
It's great to see. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. How long is the trip in July for? 10 days?
10 days, yep. But the other thing about this program is, in this partnership, is we really all want the same things. We want our kids to have opportunities and to be safe and get a good education and be supported. So really, despite being from a different country, we really, that the common bond is what we want for our children.
Right.
And how important it is for them to have these experiences. And another thing that we asked them is, how are you going to be a bigger ambassador for Sister Cities after this experience? Like, in other words, how are you going to give back to your community? And they had some really great responses. So, every time we take a group over, we have that many more cheerleaders for our partnership, which
Right.
it's really a template of your own volition. All it takes is commitment and participation.
Well, those kids, they'll become tomorrow's volunteers and
Right.
leaders of your community, and hopefully they get involved in the exchange too, and hopefully this evolves 20, 30 years down the line and their kids are participating. That's
And
what this...
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And because they see in helping with it, because they had to sell tickets for it and be accountable. So all of a sudden, they're not just coming to an event. They are behind the scenes and they see how much work it goes
Right.
into putting on an event like this. We have so many wonderful nonprofits in this community, and we're a small community.
Right.
And we're all after the same dollars, but luckily people are so generous here, and they really believe in it. But the kids seeing what's involved, and you're right, we hope that they will be the future volunteers, and we'll see what needs to be done and how they can give of themselves, not just their dollar. And that's another thing. You know, we need money, but we need worker bees too. You know, it works both ways.
It sounds like, in many ways, it's the antithesis of entitlement, where the kids they've earned something, but they're learning as they're earning, and there's a responsibility that they have when they go, because, as you said, they're going to be spokespeople for our community as well, and hopefully come back as mentors and coaches on their own. You know, what is that expression? You reap what you sow. You give back what you get. And if the kids are learning about paying it forward to others as well, it's all very good.
It's all part of their learning and growing up.
Right.
So it is, you know.
Your fiance sounds like an old soul. Lisa's body language is now that she's just going to sit here and observe us, and that's okay. But I can just see her sitting back. But you sound like you come from a big family.
Well, big in terms of Irish, no.
In terms of Irish.
The days of the Irish families, 12 kids, 14 kids are probably over for many. So I'm the eldest of what was 4. Recently there in January, my youngest sister passed away tragically. So there was 4 of us. There's now 3.
Wow. Well, you got yourself in a position where you must have had some experiences growing up where you were the recipient of some sort of fostering or attention that now you're in a position where you're supporting and giving back in a way.
Yeah, it's something I experienced all my life. You know, there was people giving and helping. I actually remember myself, we talk about, you know, there's a 12-year-old going on this trip that's coming. As 12 years of age, where we're from, Northern Ireland, obviously was in conflict back then. So they tried to give us some experiences. So coming from a Catholic family, we had a sort of partnership with a Protestant school to try and introduce, you know, Catholics and Protestants working together, and you had this sort of pen pal, you know, obviously slightly different back then. And so that was a good experience. And then some community leaders took us across to Germany actually to see the World War II, what's left of internment camps and things like that. So that was something that really stuck out in my mind, and you know, those were volunteer leaders taking us to give us experience. So very much bring it back to sister cities here. We're giving young people an opportunity to experience something too, which will stick out in their minds. So giving something back, as you say, Bill, yeah.
At the end of this trip, we're going to have 6 students returning to the United States with Irish accents.
That's right. It'd be great
but which Irish accent? Because literally you go 5 miles every direction.
It changes.
Different accents.
Different dialects or different...
Absolutely.
It would be great for you to interview the kids when they come back, Bill.
Oh, you're not kidding.
About their experience. But another person I'd like to mention is not only Mike Haney, but Michael Carr, who's the Michael Haney person over on the other side of the Atlantic that really helped formulate this sister city partnership. And he's brought over 100 golfers over here for the Pinecone Open every year. We're going to have that again in the fall. And I have to say, Connor's been so good about supporting the music program, and Michael's been good about bringing those golfers over to, you know, make sure that somebody from our sister city is here. And that, you know, that's a long way to come for a rooftop party and a round of golf.
That's right. That's right.
And we don't even play golf.
And that's okay.
Yeah. But also, I mean, Bill, what Denise is saying there's much more, I suppose, than just the musical exchange. There's the golf, our own version of the Ryder Cup.
That's right.
You know, and also then we have a festival in Mourne called the Maiden of Mournes Festival, and Southern Pines sends a maiden across to participate in that every year, which is another wonderful experience for someone.
For young people. And actually, this is the 8th young lady from Moore County that's going to go over and represent us in the Maiden of Mourne contest.
Is that right?
Yep.
And you had a winner too.
And we had a winner. The first year, one of my students, Liz, won the Maiden of Mourne contest. So it's another chance for a young lady between 18 and 24 to spend a week with young ladies from all different countries. And they perform, and it's just a wonderful thing. So, and Audrey Klensnick is going to be our maiden of morn this year. She's a sophomore at UMass in the marching band. She has a scholarship. She's going to be playing in the Rose Bowl parade
Oh, wow.
in Pasadena this year.
Oh, wow.
And she plays the tuba.
Huh.
And she's going to represent us this year.
Does anybody play the tuba? I thought the tuba plays the person.
Or no, the trombone. It must
Oh.
be the trombone.
Okay.
It's the trombone. I'm sorry. You can tell. But anyway, it is great. It is another opportunity. And that was our first opportunity really getting youth involved.
Hey, in winding down, I just wanted to ask you, as far as this trip goes for fundraising, have you been meeting the goals? Are you still reaching out? And if you are, is there any contact information that you would like to share?
Well, we always need help financially because
Okay.
we do the golf tournament and the rooftop party to raise money for the music exchange, and sometimes it takes us 2 or 3 years. But our next event would be the Pinecone Open, and it isn't just for serious golfers because it's a captain's choice. But I do make people tee off a pine cone on one hole, which makes it a very unique event. And I found that the really good golfers don't do so well with it, but the bad golfers love it and
Right.
hit it the best they ever do. But it'll be on October 28th, and we've got a dozen golfers from our sister city coming over that we'll pair you up with if you'd like to play with one of our Irish visitors from our sister city.
Great.
And it's October 28th, so you can go to the Sister City Facebook page, or you can just email me at artsnob@live.com.
Artsnob at live.com. I'm
I
taking
think you
all
need
this
a new
down.
email address.
There you go. I want to thank you guys all for coming in and speaking with us. And this is a wonderful opportunity. And I think your idea about having the students come on the show and talk about their experience when they get back before school starts would be a great thing to do.
I would love it if you did that, Bill.
Book it. Plan on it. I mean,
thank you
just
so
let me
much.
know. Yeah, let me know. Dorothy and I were talking last week. The most memorable shows that we have in the 8 years or 9 years we've been doing this are always the shows with students. Why is it that students are more interesting than adults? I don't quite understand that.
No inhibitions, just to
Right.
go with the flow.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. You're right. No
Yeah.
layers.
Yeah.
There's an innocence. There's a passion, and you see young people forming into what will become responsible adults and giving adults. It's nice to see. Connor, thank you for coming in. Lisa,
thank you.
it was a pleasure. And Denise, as always, and do get in touch with me, and let's try to set that up.
I will, and thank you for all the support you
Oh.
give the community, Bill. I appreciate it.
It's a privilege to live here, and I wake up every day and I say, there's just no other place that I want to be. So we feel the same way about that.
But, I have 4 brothers and sisters, and we have all moved back to Moore County now.
Yeah,
But we weren't born here, but we've lived here over 40 years. But I said, I was kind of like, I was a resort brat, which was like an army brat with nicer barracks. But we've all come back to Moore County.
thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Bill.
There's always something happening, and it's usually quite loud. Our mum, she's so house proud. Nothing ever slows her down.
As I was going over the far-famed Kerry Mountains, I met with Captain Farrell and his money.
Welcome back to our third and final set, wrapping up our show on the Sister Cities Partnership, and we thank Denise Baker and Connor and Lisa for coming and talking with us. But Dorothy, in that those first 2 sets, we really trashed Baxter Clement, didn't we?
Of course we did.
Everybody just jumped on him. So
It's because he's such an easy target.
yeah, well, I thought we'd give him a chance to come in and defend himself for the last 8 or 10 minutes of the show.
Aren't you nice?
Don't you think?
Yes.
So, actually, no, Baxter is here with us to wrap up the show and to talk a little bit from his point of view about the upcoming trip, what's going to be happening, and you were actually very well mentioned.
That's unfortunate. I was hoping to play the James Comey of today.
Well, we could intersperse that into the conversation too.
We'll talk politics later.
So we had so Connor was on, and
Yes.
what did we say to Connor, Dorothy? Could he just read the phone book in his Irish brogue?
I'm pretty sure he could have.
And that's all we could have done, and people would listen.
They would have
He's
listened.
beautiful. He's a beautiful man too. If you could only see him
Yeah,
over the airwaves.
right. We saw him in the studio, but we didn't see him on the. I mean, you
Your
can't,
listeners can't
This
see
is
him.
radio,
Right, that's-
Right, not TV. Okay,
know.
you're
That-
all over it.
That's how I imagine Diane Reeves. She's my hero.
You know, I told the story about the first time I met you when you first moved back here from New York. You
Yes.
might not remember. You and your mom met with me,
At the I know at the house.
Yeah, you remember.
Oh, the Pinehurst Castle.
and you were looking for a piano at the time.
Mhm.
And we talked. We met at the castle, and we went over to a house over at then called National. And you were telling me that you're coming back from New York. You're going to start a music school, and I listened. It stuck, but it didn't stick like peanut butter on the top of my mouth. I
As
just
it shouldn't.
good for him. But oh my gosh! So what's happened over that was in 2006, was it, or 7?
7, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I came down here 6, 7. Yeah, somewhere there. I don't know.
So now you have the music school. You have Casino Guitars. You're married. You have 2 children.
It's really strange.
Your
We've-
hair is still a mess.
It's like a dynasty of disaster.
Wow.
Is what we've created here.
Tell us about it was a very successful event that you had last week, wasn't it?
It was fantastic, beyond our expectations.
Yeah.
I think we had probably close to 200 people total at the event.
Yeah.
But I know at least 170 to 80 guests, and then the people that were helping, the volunteers, and all on our little roof deck. And it didn't collapse.
So if Denise is the maternal force that brought sister cities together, you've got to be now considered the paternal force.
That
The
or
other-
the son that should be in a special education system.
Right.
Nowadays, like that kind of runs all over the place and throws paint against the wall, and hopefully it sticks.
The trip is in July.
Yes, sir.
There are 6 students that are going to be going with you and Taylor.
Yes.
Um,
and Denise.
And Denise. And they're all your students?
No.
Oh.
No, we opened the auditions up to the entire county.
Okay.
And so we held the auditions at the O'Neill Auditorium, and we had multiple auditions sort of scattered throughout, and we took video auditions in as well. And it was several are my personal students, but some are not.
Now, Adam Smith, I know, is one.
Yes.
And
I was thoroughly impressed with that strange young man.
he plays electric bass.
He plays bass, guitar, ukulele, a little bit of drums, and all sorts of guitars.
How long has he been working with you?
I think he's been working with me for not very long, maybe a year and a half, 2 years max, I think.
Yeah.
And he hopefully he won't listen to this or his mother, but he's one of them. He's one of the no. Because I don't like to give compliments to my little minions at all. He's one of I'm surprised and most impressed with his growth.
Is that right?
And I'm not normally that way because often kids will come in and they're doing great, and then it's just they sort of stagnate. He's kind of taken it to.
He's growing.
He's growing very quickly.
It's in his DNA. He's got a good footprint too.
And he has great funny hair as well, like his mother.
Right.
Which is great.
She'd
So,
love to hear that.
hopefully she hears that part of the interview.
So you raised about $12,000 towards a trip at the event, something like that?
I think so. I don't. That's what my wife and Denise kind of count the pennies, but I'm guessing we're in that ballpark. And then we still have more to raise, obviously, to finish because we fund the kids going over there. We try to take care of everything for them. We're doing it at the guitar shop. We're selling T-shirts that the proceeds go towards money for the children over there as well, so we can pay for their food and events over there. So it truly is as free a trip as possible. So come by the guitar shop and buy some green T-shirts.
Where were you when you were? Let's see. Adam is 16 now.
I believe so.
So at 16 years old, imagine. Go back to when you were 16.
3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. This trip for a 16-year-old would be. I mean, this would be a very impressive thing to do. An opportunity for them.
I would lose my mind.
Right.
It's and I hope the kids still feel that way in
Right.
today's society of instant gratification and internets and iPhones in our pockets and our breast pockets.
Right.
But I think I'm sorry, it's a strange world. I always have to go off on that. But no, I think the kids that we have going this year are very appreciative, as I think they should be, and they're super excited.
Yeah.
And it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Exactly.
And it's that time in their life where this will change them forever.
Right. How long have you been involved with Sister Cities? Because it started, I think, back in 2009.
Gosh, I can't remember when Denise, I think she ran into me at the wine cellar, because that's where people like us
Yeah.
sort of cohabitate when we're not
Yeah.
teaching or doing other things.
No.
And she just approached me and was like, I want you to be involved in this music thing, this Irish thing. I'm like, okay, strange art person. And then we saw each other a few weeks later, and she's like, said it again. It's like, all right, let's do something. And we schemed. I don't know when it was. It was years ago.
Right.
God, 5 years ago or so.
Right.
And then it just kind of all happened, and it's been happening ever since. And it's been an awesome part of my life and my wife's, and all these kids we've gotten to work with. And some of the kids that went on the first, inaugural trip are actually pursuing music professionally now.
Yeah.
And they've stayed in touch with the Irish kids.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Denise said when you get back, she wanted to get some of the students in here with you to have a show to talk about their experiences, and I thought that would be a great idea.
Have them bring their instruments too.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Make them play.
Yeah, we could do that. Something like Sister Cities, could you envision this happening in New York City, in an urban area, as opposed to the small town charm and the small town that Southern Pines is?
It's tough. I mean, I was in New York for almost 10 years. And
Yeah.
New York is like little small towns within each neighborhood, but it would really be impossible.
Yeah.
It's just you couldn't manage it. It's so much easier to get in touch with the people here to help fund an event like this too.
Right.
Because it's expensive and it takes a lot of work. And in the city, everyone's kind of chasing after their own thing, and it's a little tougher. So yeah, Southern Pines is a lucky embryonic state.
And that was also, in hindsight, a great place for you to start Casino Guitars.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's like, it's crazy, isn't it? That you started this year, and you
never would have thought this would all grown how it did
in a couple of years.
Where we've gotten a bunch of neat little awards, and we bring lots of nice guitars and to find new families. It's like we consider it like a fancy pet shop.
So your brick and mortar store, which is now it's iconic, and it's a beautiful
Correct.
building, but a lot of your reach is through the internet. Your web is not Moore County.
No, we've shipped guitars from Seattle to Afghanistan. Our primary audience still is, though, we have people driving in from all over the state primarily, and the southeast a little bit. And we've had folks from, I think, from as far as Georgia and South Carolina that drove just to come to the shop, and then maybe Southern Virginia.
Yeah.
And then it's great.
Do you have is there an underbelly of music enthusiasts or guitar enthusiasts who go on blogs all over the country and read about different stores, locations? People are talking to each other.
Yeah, it's funny. I am part of the underbelly. It's like people that were nerds when they were in middle school that played Dungeons and Dragons, or it's like then you sort of graduate into comic books, and then you graduate into like video games and guitars, and because I'm a grown man that still plays with toys for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We talked about your age, your chronological age, your emotional age in the first two sets. Maybe you'll get a chance to hear it.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, right.
It's
the kids love you. The students love you. The parents of the kids that I know, they have nothing but great things to say. So
that's very nice.
Yeah, you pull a good Eddie Haskell on everybody.
Ooh, that's cute.
You remember him?
Yeah, I do
see
Eddie
that.
Haskell.
Dorothy, he even though he's not anywhere near as old as me, he goes back a long way in his head. He knows what we're talking about.
I'm very, very old.
Yeah. We would love to have you come back.
I would love it.
After the trip. The trip is July when to when?
I was just going to dates this morning. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's sort of the July. I'm gonna say July 18th, 20th, somewhere is when we depart, and then we come back in the August 1st range.
So why don't we plan to do a show before school starts?
Fantastic.
In August, and get the kids to come in, and Denise, I know, would love to come back, and we wish you the best of luck. It should be a great trip.
I think we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, Baxter, thanks for stopping in.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you.
Nice to see you, sir.
Dorothy, we'll see you next week.
Sure will.
Okay, and thanks for playing the great Irish music.
Hi, I do it again.
Okay, thank you.
To be ready for the slaughter, ushering the doom and da.